very tightly packed corridors. Oh god. But at the same time, it still feels very cramped, very claustrophobic. And I think that's what I miss in Resident Evil games. I want no enemies. I want something that feels very sort of very claustrophobic and centered around like very one-on-one encounters, or at most 1-on-4 or whatever. And Resident Evil 3, I wonder how she knows how she doesn't need it. Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't matter. I was going to say, like, Resident Evil 3 feels like it captures that sort of... it captures the tight claustrophobic feel, because you're running around these tight alleyways and these corridors and whatnot. But at the same time, the scope is really big because it still tries to tell the story of like this.
Jill!
I would just let a cutscene play out.
Hey, the zombies are getting restless.
I know. I can hear them. What's going on?
Yeah, so it sort of captures that.
Jill! What's wrong?
Damn it, Carlos.
They're coming! They must have sniffed us out. They know we're here.
Hey, calm down.
Any objections to my playing hero this time?
What are you doing? Carlos!
Carlos, always been a hero. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I think 3 sort of captures that sense of like the tight claustrophobic corridors, but also the sense of scale that the later games had. At least it gives off that impression in the cutscenes. Sort of does the same thing the Dino Crisis games do. Which is to, or did, which was to be very small scale in the actual gameplay, but when it came to the cutscenes and the story, it was much larger than what they put on screen, sort of thing. These ridiculously easy puzzles. Or ridiculously simple. There we go. And yeah, you combine these two and you get the oil mixture. But yeah, what I was saying is like, if they can make a game, if like Resident Evil sort of combined that in the gameplay, you had very claustrophobic, tight corridor shooter sort of thing, where every encounter was a challenge or a minefield, like in the earlier games. But at the same time, the scale was a lot bigger, or about the same size as it generally is in the Resident Evil games now. You know, sort of like a whole town infested or something. But with the gameplay very small scale, I think that would be pretty good if it could pull the horror off. Hold it. Yeah, I still need to pick up the one remaining gunpowder, right? Despite the music, you are not actually in any danger here, I don't think. If you don't move, nothing happens.
Carlos! No!
Relax. I'm not dead yet.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. That hero stuff is harder than it looks.
Okay, and now we run like hell.
Ouch, my ears are ringing. We both should be deaf by now. Okay, I'm gonna scrounge up some equipment. There might not be any at our destination.
Little audio repeat there, just, you know, for the kids at home who love repeating audio or audio errors, audio playback errors. I'll stop. Oh, that was stupid. Unnecessarily stupid. But yeah, like I was saying, like I don't know how to. I don't want to label a point anymore, or I don't know how to specifically outline how the next Resident Evil would be like 3, but well, how the next Resident Evil would avoid all the problems like 6 had, and sort of still pander to all the different audiences it needs to, and copy Resident Evil 3 and be good survival horror. But I do think it's possible. I don't know if I've mentioned it before in one of the earlier videos, but like if they could have the survival horror aspects, or the survival horror gameplay sections be a bit like say Siren Blood Curse, and well, the Siren series in general, but with more ammo conservation elements, that would be cool. I'm thinking mostly of Siren Blood Curse, because that's like, I think that's the point at which they sort of hit their stride, and they knew exactly how to make a really good horror game whilst not making it too painful for anybody who wasn't hardcore into horror. Because if you played the early Siren games, they're a bit of a pain, to say the least. Mostly because of the control system, I think. And Blood Curse sort of smooths out those problems. It's also very pretty and very atmospheric. But obviously that's a tool call for the Resident Evil series anyway. I don't think Capcom are going to be that smart about it, to be honest, sadly. I think the problem is Capcom sort of had this obsession with making sort of arcadey games, which isn't necessarily bad because they make some really good arcadey games, but I think the thing with and also worth pointing out, like I think part of what made the Resident Evil series so popular is because they combine well, the games combine sort of the hardcore like horror aspects with being very easy to get into and not being the sort of game that puts you off, if that makes sense. And that's sort of arcadey because arcade games are supposed to be easy to get into. I think the thing is they've taken that too far, or at least it's gone to the extent where oh, ammo, where the demand for sales has surpassed what the series could really accomplish if it's going to still be horror. What the hell is she wearing? Probably just run past these guys if possible. But yeah, like there's only, I think the thing about horror is it's always going to be a niche market, and it's a niche market with mass appeal, but like proper horror, good horror is always going to be niche-ish, if that makes sense. And the thing Resident Evil did was like sort of ride the line between niche and mass market, if that makes sense. And because it did ride the line, or at least the early ones, that's why it was a success, and it's built from there, I'd say. Hang on, I'll just read this. So it's 15 to 25. 115 to 125. What we have to do here is an automatic control panel that controls the voltage, and this is how we change the voltage on this machine. We need to switch this to manual. And that will allow us to change the voltage level on this.